Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I figured that I'd do this video in a place where it looks like the authorities are. Like I got a police station across the way here, so I'm protected, and I got a government building over here. What am I going to be talking about today? I'm going to be talking about another controversial subject. Of course, it's in my nature. I can't get away from it. I don't know, maybe it's an addiction. Brandy? Yeah, well, I'll take it on the chin for that one. But we're going to be talking about the Great Firewall of China. Yes, good, bad, indifferent. What do you guys think? And you know, at the end of it, I'm actually going to leave it up to you guys to tell me what you think. And in the comment section below, the Chinese government throttles the internet here in China. There are a number of no-go zones. Google, Facebook. Oh no, Mark, no Facebook? You're losing money. YouTube. I know, YouTube. But you see, there's a reason why they do this. They see what goes on in the rest of the world with these platforms that aren't controlled. For instance, look what's going on in the United States right now. Without mass social media, do you think the riots would have got as big as they did? Do you think that, you know, having that outlet to congregate everybody together in what do you even call it? A social demonstration across the country because one guy died because 4 crooked cops, asshole cops, made bad decisions and killed a black guy. So the whole country erupts into riots, killings, vandalism, you know, just social unrest and civil unrest that basically shuts down an entire country. For how long? Well, it all sort of started when terrorists, yes, and I'm going to call them terrorists. You call them Zhejiang province Muslims, but they were using Facebook as a means to communicate, to set up terrorist attacks, to set up demonstrations in Zhejiang province, to undermine the government, you know, subversion at its best, I guess is what you want to call it. And the Chinese government looked at that and said, no, we don't want any part of that. We see what goes on in the West. We want to be able to control the news, the social understanding of our country, what people see and how they see it, what they perceive to be right, what they perceive to be wrong. Is this a good thing? I don't know, guys. You tell me. In the West, because of the fake news, as Trump says, Donald Duck, whatever you want to call him, the Fox says one thing, CNN says another thing. Nobody knows what is real and what isn't. So everybody's confused and everybody just sort of picks their side and tries to understand what's going on to the best of their ability. Where in China, it is illegal to put out fake news. It is illegal for people to put on social media things that aren't true, that subvert the government. And is it actually untrue in all fields? Like, it may be true to an American but not true to a Chinese. You see, that's where there's that thin line between, is social media, throttling of the social media, a good thing or a bad thing? I look at it as because I've been around the world a couple of times, guys, and I've seen how safe it is in China. I see, and it's not just social media. It's not just the internet. It's the social background. It's the upbringing. It's the unrest of slavery in the United States. The thing of black against white. It's black against black. All lives matter. Chinese lives matter too. So they've got their issues, but social media sort of fuels it. It adds another log to the fire type thing. And you see that in the United States, you see that in Canada, you see that in Great Britain. You don't see it here in China. Why not? Because the Chinese government says no to that. They just don't allow it. And it makes it, in my eyes and my mind, my understanding, it makes it safer for your average Chinese person. The average Chinese person doesn't give a rat's ass about Facebook. Because they have their own Facebook over here. Doesn't give a rat's ass about YouTube. They have more than one YouTube over here. They got Weibo, they've got Tutiao, they've got Bilibili, and others. And Facebook and YouTube are basically in English, and most people here don't speak English. They don't care. You see, when I grew up, and I'm an old man, and a lot of these anti-China YouTubers remind me of that on a daily basis. I don't need reminding of that. I've got enough sense to know what my age is. Oh, and I'm going to digress here for a second. Now, we lost Prime in China. He's Prime out of China, and he's sort of cashed in his chips and whatever. But at least he shows, when he trashes me out, he shows his big ugly face on his channel. Now they've got new people on here that are hiding behind fake names and, you know, monikers and stuff like that. So they don't even show their faces. They don't want anybody to know, because they probably go to bed with their little pink panties on, wishing that they were a little teenage girl, but they're not. They're just losers. Oh well. Anyway, so back to the Great Firewall of China. The internet, although it is behind a firewall, it is behind the Great Wall. It's not behind the Great Wall for everybody, because you can just go get a VPN, buy a VPN. There's free VPNs in China, and voila, you're up and running. Because there's a lot of people in China that actually are highly educated, speak English, speak Chinese, speak a number of different languages, and they want access to the internet. So what do? They go get a VPN. And you say, oh, that's illegal, Gweilo. No, it's not. If it was, I would be in frickin' jail or kicked out of the country or something. Why? Because I've been asked a number of times over the last 9 months or 10 months-ish by government officials, how do you put your videos on YouTube? And I say, well, I've got a VPN. Actually, I've got more than one VPN. I've got 3 VPNs. You know, I use a Wang VPN, which is a free one. I use Watopia, and I use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN sometimes is sketchy. Watopia is pretty good, and Wang, although it's free and a little bit slow, has never let me down. And they say, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, they're not very concerned about people that are educated, understand a number of languages, having access to the outside world, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Googles of the world. They don't care about that. What they care about is a lot of the population in China is uneducated, and they're easily influenced. And if they had access to the outside rhetoric against China, if they saw what the world is saying about China, it might disenfranchise them. Is that a word? It disillusion them about their own country. It might push social unrest. You got a country like the United States, 350 million people, and they can't keep it together with all of their armed police. See, Chinese police aren't armed. All of their military, all of their National Guard people going along and just putting down the people. What would happen in a country that's like 3 or 4 times bigger than the United States in population, and still a developing country with 1.4 billion people in it? My God, it takes a really soft hand or strong hand, depending on which way you look at it, to keep all of this in order. And I think the throttling of the internet is part of the policy of the Chinese government to make sure that people aren't influenced in the wrong ways. You know, you get the re-education camps in Xinjiang province. That's also part of this thing that, you know, people are uneducated up there. They just they haven't had the quality of education and understanding over the years, so they're very easily influenced. And if you have all of this radical Islamic terrorist group shit coming out of Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia and frickin' who knows where else, it influences people, and the Chinese government doesn't want that. And I think that they're probably right by doing what they're doing. Then you get into what's good for the children. In the West, there's frickin' pornography all over the internet. Kids are in their bedrooms, on their computers, on their cell phones, watching whatever the hell they want. How does that dement a 10 or a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old's mind looking at pornography on the internet? In the United States, it's a common thing. In China, it's not. You have to know how to manipulate the internet to get that here because it's outlawed. With a VPN, you can get it. Without a VPN, she's a tough row to hoe. You got to know what you're doing. Sure, you can still get it, but you can't easily get it. You know, so just for that fact alone, I think, you know, throttling the internet to some degree is probably a good thing. And here's something, you know, the Chinese people are not bitching about the Great Firewall of China. They're not bitching about having to have a VPN to access Google and Facebook and YouTube and a bunch of other things. They're not the one bitching about it. Who's bitching about it? Mark Zuckerberg. You know what I mean? He's losing money. It's all about the money, guys. Who's bitching about it? The Americans, the Canadians, the Western people are the ones bitching about it, saying, oh, you're taking away their freedom of whatever. And they'll name off a whole bunch of things. But the Chinese people are looking at them saying, like, stay out of our business, man. This is just the way it is over here. And it's working for us. We have a safe, wholesome community here in China, and it's because we have these laws in place that throttle the internet to the point that not everybody, our kids are safer. You know, the old people like me, they don't even look at the internet. What's on the you know, the Sunday night news and stuff like that. They're still watching TV, local TV. Then you've got the people that are anywhere from 20 to 45, 50 years old, that sure, they're on the internet, but they have their own internet setup here in China. They have everything that they need. It's all in Chinese, it's all in their own language, and that's the way they like it. So you tell me, guys, is it a good thing that China throttles the internet, or is it a bad thing? It hurts me to say this, it really does, but you know, Donald Trump was right about the fake news in the United States, and the damage that it can do, not only to the country, but to the perception and the understanding of the people in that country. You get people on Fox News telling people that China is an evil authoritarian country. Yeah, sure looks like that to me. I've been here for 17 years. I haven't seen any evil or authoritarian anything. You know what I mean? I see kind and courteous people. I see great food. I see hot weather. Boy, it's 40 degrees out here today with the Humidex. I am sweating my ass off just for you guys. But the thing is that when you come to a country like this and you're expecting an authoritarian country, oh, and don't forget to watch my Parts Unknown. The one I put out this morning didn't get a lot of hits. It's not political, it's beautiful. The areas that we're going through in Guangxi province with Discover Guangxi, China Radio International is amazing. Oh, and like the third day was frick amazing. We went through a gorge and 180 meter waterfall. We went right underneath the waterfall. It was a long haul down there and a long haul back, but it was well worth it. You see, the thing is that social media, throttling of the internet is something that I think benefits China and the Chinese people. But hey, it's up to interpretation. So you tell me what you think in the comment section below, and I expect to get a lot of comments on that. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. I've been losing subscribers lately. I'm not getting no love from you guys. Give me some love, guys. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button, and thanks for watching. Never forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. It's for poor rural Chinese children. They just need a helping hand, and we can give them that helping hand. Help me help them. Thanks for watching. Bye now. See, even the pigeons aren't scared here, you know? Gotta love this place. I really do love China. I love my life. I like everything about it. And you know what? As I'm videoing in front of this big government building, I've got a number of police behind me that obviously are watching and stuff like that. Are they doing anything? Absolutely not. Why? Because I'm not doing anything bad, and they understand that. So like, life is good here. It's not like what you hear in the West, in your fake media, in your social media, in your Facebooks, in your YouTubes, in your Googles, in all of that shit. So think about that next time you say the Great Firewall of China is taking away the freedoms of the Chinese people, because actually it's not.